Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Classic Comics. Shakespeare once wrote, "When troubles come, they come not single spies, but in battalions." That's something that Disney can definitely relate to these days, as one crisis after another keeps piling up. Mass layoffs, billions in debt, the dismissal of Victoria Alonso, and the arrest of Jonathan Majors, the complaints of poor pay and being overworked by special effects artists, the box office failure of Ant-Man, and the delay of several projects that should have been released this year are just a few of the things they're dealing with. Things have gotten pretty ugly slowly and then suddenly all at once for Disney. So let's take a look at this article from Variety. Marvel's Big Mess. Victoria Alonso's contentious exit presents a rare public drama for the studio. From the box office disappointment of Quantumania to assault allegations against star Jonathan Majors, Marvel Studios is facing one crisis after another. Chief Creative Officer Kevin Feige and his small stable of executives have reliably delivered an unbroken string of global blockbusters to theaters and, starting in 2021, smash TV shows for Disney Plus. And I don't know how many of them have been smashes, really. And they've done so while keeping virtually all their behind the scenes drama from spilling over into public view. But it took just a week for that impeccable reputation to all but collapse when Disney, Marvel's parent company, fired Feige's most high profile lieutenant, Victoria Alonso, after 17 years with the company, most recently as the president of physical, post production, visual effects, and animation. She's always been a huge part of Marvel. Former Marvel Studios executive Jeremy Latcham told Variety on March 26th. "I was surprised to see the news. I hope that it all gets worked out, that everyone ends up friends. It's a great group of people that have always been really kind to each other. Hopefully, it doesn't turn into a thing." Alas, it already has. Sources at Disney say Alonso was fired over her decision to moonlight for Amazon Studios as a producer of the Oscar nominated international film Argentina 1985 without notifying the company's management audit organization, a committee that approves extracurricular business activities. For example, Disney film executive Sean Bailey got its approval to invest in Terramana, Dwayne Johnson's tequila company. Things became untenable, these sources say, after Alonso continued to promote Argentina 1985 during awards season, despite signing an amended employment agreement expressly forbidding her from doing so. Alonso's attorney, Patty Glazer, calls this contention absolutely ridiculous and counters that the executive was terminated when she refused to do something she believed was reprehensible, though what that was remains unclear. Actually, it's not so unclear anymore, but I'll get to that in a minute. Adding to the acrimony is Alonso's contention that she was silenced after his speech at the 2022 GLAAD Awards, in which the executive, who is openly gay, called out Disney's then CEO Bob Chapek by name for his treatment of Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. While Alonso did sit for several interviews in the months following her speech, she doesn't appear to have done any press for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, the studio's first major award season contender since the original Black Panther, outside of the film's red carpet premiere, where she briefly spoke with Variety and other outlets. Yes, and my contention, and I've already done one video, I'll put a link to that, but my contention was that it was the whole Don't Say Gay bill and whole Reedy Creek thing that kind of was her downfall, but it may have been, I'm starting to think now this was a combination of things. The prevailing theme of the press Alonso has done recently is her passionate belief in broadening representation at Marvel, which makes her acrimonious departure from Disney that much more notable. She's arguably the film's most prominent Latino executive, making a point of aligning herself with organizations at the intersection of the communities she represents, such as Reframe, the initiative founded and led by Women in Film and Sundance Institute to promote diversity on film sets and in executive suites. While industry text messages and Slack conversations have been swarming with speculation about what happened and where Alonso will land next, there hasn't been a significant public uproar. "I think people are nervous to rock the boat," one veteran producer speaking to Variety on the condition of anonymity surmises. "Nobody wants to upset Disney." Another industry leader questioned what impact Alonso's exit could have on her forthcoming memoir, which was originally set to be published by Disney in May. Regardless of any possible mitigating circumstances, the veteran producer sees Disney's decision in cut and dried terms. Plenty of people in this business believe that they are indispensable and they fly too close to the sun and then are shocked to find that they are no longer in a job, this producer says. They add that while Alonso's track record is certainly extraordinary and impressive, and she's earned the right to be outspoken, I don't think anyone earns the right to breach their contract. Alonso's messy exit would be bad enough for Marvel, but it comes amid fierce headwinds from all directions. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, with global grosses limping to the 500 million mark, is unlikely to break even in its theatrical run, making it the first non-pandemic money loser for the company. That film was the latest in several Marvel titles, from Thor: Love and Thunder to She-Hulk: Attorney at Law, to weather criticism for second-rate visual effects, one of Alonso's key domains, as VFX artists have repeatedly called out the studio, alleging it forces them to accept impossible hours and cut-rate pay. Meanwhile, one of Quantum Mania's stars, Jonathan Majors, was charged on March 26 with multiple counts of assault and harassment of an unnamed woman. The actor's lawyers say there is video evidence that exonerates him and the case is pending. But Major's character, Kang, is meant to be Marvel's newest big bad. He shot season 2 of Loki with Tom Hiddleston, set to premiere later this year, and he's due to headline Avengers: The Kang Dynasty in 2025. A criminal trial of one of its newest stars is exactly the kind of headache Marvel doesn't need. Furthermore, Disney currently has no timetable for naming an executive or executives to take on Alonso's duties, even as several titles, like this year's The Marvels and 2024's Captain America: New World Order, work their way through the Marvel pipeline. It's certainly a big position to try to replace, Latcham says. It's really a massive job. So, yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of speculation about why Alonso was let go by Disney. And as I said, I've already done a video on that. And my thought was mainly that it was the Don't Say Gay bill and whole Reedy Creek thing. But there's been some other information that's just recently come out, and it looks like there may be even more of this. So, this article is from The Hollywood Reporter. So, Victoria Alonso clashed with Marvel over blurring gay pride references in Ant-Man 3 for Kuwait. On March 24th, The Hollywood Reporter exclusively reported that Disney fired Alonso for breach of contract due to her work on the Amazon-nominated feature Argentina 1985, which was made by Amazon. Last week, Disney indicated the dismissal was due to an indisputable breach of contract and a direct violation of company policy. Alonso, through attorney Patty Glazer, pushed back at this explanation for the firing, saying in a statement at the time, Victoria, a gay Latina who had the courage to criticize Disney, was silenced. Then she was terminated when she refused to do something she believed was reprehensible. Some insiders at Disney believe the reprehensible act referenced by Glazer was a request to censor gay pride references in the latest Ant-Man movie for the Kuwait market, sources told The Hollywood Reporter. In January, as Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was being readied for release, word came down that Marvel executives wanted an editor to blur a storefront window that featured rainbow decorations and the word pride for the version of the film to be released in Kuwait, which has restrictive anti-LGBTQ laws. The storefront was shown in two brief scenes in which Scott Lang walked down a San Francisco street. Alonso, who is gay, was an outspoken proponent of inclusion during her time at Marvel. She publicly challenged then CEO Bob Chapek to push back against Florida's Don't Say Gay bill, etc., etc. We know about that. The Quantum Mania request reached Alonso, who refused to have her team make the edit as part of her duties overseeing visual effects and post production at Marvel. Marvel then went to an outside vendor to see the edit through. There were several other changes to the film for Kuwait, which is the only country in which pride references were blurred, according to sources. The edit also removed references to alcohol that would have run afoul of local authorities, and it removed the animated butt cheeks of the character MODOK. Yeah, I remember that scene. I'm actually a little surprised because, I actually have been to Kuwait. I spent a little time there when I was preparing to go to Iraq back in 2000. It was end of 2008. And I didn't go out much. I mean, I was mostly restricted to the base, but the impression, my understanding was that Kuwait was actually fairly, relaxed in regards to other Muslim countries around them, like Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, places like that, which were much harsher and stricter in terms of their stance against that sort of thing. So I'm a little surprised that Kuwait is the only market where this was a problem. Hollywood studios have long struggled with censorship in countries with anti LGBTQ laws, particularly those in the Middle East. For Kuwait, Disney removed a moment of affection in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. In other instances, Disney declined to make edits, with insiders noting Disney would not edit out moments deemed integral to the story. Pixar's Lightyear was banned in Saudi Arabia over a same gender kiss, while Marvel's Eternals was banned in multiple countries as the film featured the same gender marriage between Phastos and his on screen husband, Ben. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. Disney's policy regarding edits is as follows. In countries where we operate, we seek to share our stories in their original forms, as we and the artists involved have created them. If we make edits because of legal or other considerations, they will be as narrow as possible. We will not make an edit where we believe it will impact the storytelling. In that circumstance, we will not distribute the content in that market. Unless we really need the money. a year ago, a year ago, Alonso spoke at the GLAAD Media Awards. Amid Disney's dispute with Florida over Don't Say Gay, taking the podium, she made a plea to Chapek to take a stand. So I ask you again, Mr. Chapek, please respect if we're selling family, take a stance against all these crazy outdated laws, take a stand for the family. So, yeah, it looks like there were really multiple issues with Alonso. I'm not sure what was the last straw. I'm guessing, Ant-Man 3 being a flop, I think has to be a big part of it. As far as the whole breach of contract thing over Argentina, I don't know. I don't know enough to say one way or the other. But there are plenty of other things going on with Disney. As mentioned earlier, they're having layoffs. They're firing a lot of people, not just Alonso. So we got another article here from the Hollywood Reporter. Disney layoffs hit TV production acquisitions departments. Sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that Monday's layoffs focused on production and acquisitions. Among the notable staffers let go Monday are Jane Bieber, senior VP at Freeform, and that's one of the smaller streaming services. Mark Levinstein, head of production and post production at Hulu, and Elizabeth Newman, head of Disney's acquisition department. Sources note Newman's entire acquisitions team has been dissolved, while Bieber and Levinstein's production teams will be folded under Carol Turner, executive VP of production at ABC. That team will continue to report to Eric Schreier, whom Dana Walden promoted last year to president of Disney Television Studios and business operations at Disney General Entertainment. Detail on the size of Monday's layoffs or what percentage of Disney's workforce was impacted were not immediately available, as additional TV side layoffs are expected to come by week's end, with the largest round coming in April. So this is just the beginning, really. As Disney CEO Bob Iger warned Monday, layoffs would be starting this week as part of a round of cuts that would eliminate a total of 7,000 staffers. In February, Iger said that Disney will trim 7,000 jobs as part of a streamlined restructuring that will focus on three divisions: Disney Entertainment, ESPN, and Parks Experiences and Products. The cuts, he said, are necessary for creating a more effective, coordinated, and streamlined approach to our business. Iger wrote in an internal memo Monday, adding that senior leaders have been evaluating their operational needs since he announced the cuts. The third and final round of layoffs is expected to come before the start of the summer, Iger said. The staff cuts are part of a larger plan to create 5.5 billion in cost savings at the company and come as other conglomerates are similarly reducing their workforce in a bid to streamline staff and right-size their ranks as a recession looms. Monday's moves eliminate siloed production divisions and consolidate that department into one unit covering all of the TV side while also eliminating a separate acquisitions unit. Iger returned to the role of CEO in a stunning move in November after Disney's board ousted his previous replacement, Bob Chapek, only 2.5 years into the role. Iger's first action item since returning to the Mouse House was to oust Chapek's top lieutenant, Kareem Daniel. As part of Chapek's Disney restructuring, he tapped Daniel to lead the newly created Disney Media and Entertainment Distribution Division. The unit frustrated creative executives as Daniel had control of all of Disney's non parks revenue. controlling the purse strings on spending for TV and film. After pushing out Daniel, Iger folded DMED, restructured to give financial oversights back to creatives, and tapped Walden and Alan Bergman to oversee Disney Entertainment, with Jimmy Pitaro continuing to lead ESPN and Josh D'Amaro running the Parks and Products division. Yeah, so lean times are here for everybody, even in Hollywood and even at Disney. They've laid off Ike Perlmutter. Depending on who you believe, he really deserved a lot of the credit for those early hits like Iron Man and Hulk and Avengers than maybe Kevin Feige did. I don't know. It depends on who you believe. But anyway, that's not all the trouble. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, Jonathan Majors arrested and charged with assault. Lawyer says actor is completely innocent. So we'll take a look at this right quick. Jonathan Majors was arrested and charged with multiple misdemeanors Saturday after being accused of assaulting a woman during a domestic dispute. The actor was arrested on suspicion of strangulation, assault, and harassment Saturday in Chelsea, a neighborhood of Manhattan, according to a New York Police Department spokesman. The woman sustained minor injuries to her head and neck and was taken to a hospital. Majors was no longer in police custody by Saturday night and was charged on Sunday by the Manhattan District Attorney with 2 counts of assault in the third degree, aggravated harassment in the second degree, attempted assault in the third degree, and harassment in second degree. The judge granted a limited order of protection and that the actor be released on his own recognizance after prosecutors requested supervised release and a full order of protection. Jonathan Majors is completely innocent and is provably the victim of an altercation with a woman he knows, the actor's criminal defense lawyer Priya Chowdhury told The Hollywood Reporter in a statement on Sunday. We are quickly gathering and presenting evidence to the district attorney with the expectation that all charges will be dropped imminently. Video footage from the vehicle where the incident took place, along with witness testimony and alleged statements from the woman recanting her allegations, are among the evidence Major's attorneys noted are being collected. The statement also alleges the altercation was the result of a mental health incident involving the woman. Itches be crazy, in other words. All the evidence proves that Mr. Majors is entirely innocent and did not assault her whatsoever, Chowdhury added. The NYPD is required to make an arrest in these situations, and this is the only reason Mr. Majors was arrested. A representative for the actor previously told THR he has done nothing wrong. We look forward to clearing his name and clearing this up. Police said they responded to a 911 call at an apartment in Chelsea where a 33-year-old male was involved in a domestic dispute with a 30-year-old female. The victim informed police she was assaulted. Officers placed the 33-year-old male into custody without incident, according to the statement, which identified the male as Majors. Chowdhury on Tuesday clarified that it was her client who made that call. Her statement reads, in part, "It is Mr. Majors who called 911 due to concern for her mental health." According to the district attorney's complaint, the woman alleges Majors struck her about the face with an open hand, causing substantial pain and a laceration behind her ear, grabbed her hand, causing swelling, bruising, and substantial pain to her finger, and put his hand on her neck, causing bruising and substantial pain. Majors is one of the more in-demand actors working today. He has long-term plans with Marvel Studios to play Kang, the central villain in the studio's upcoming Phase 6 that will headline Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, dated for May 2nd, 2025. He recently appeared as Kang in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and is rumored to appear in season 2 of Loki, expected out later this year. So, I mean, from the sound of it, it sounds like he's probably going to be exonerated here. I don't really expect that he's going to get any jail time or probably even go to trial. So, what do you think? Will Majors walk free on this or will he go to trial? Will he get any punishment? And why did Alonso really get fired? The Reedy Creek mess in Florida, the failure of Ant-Man, breaching contract to work on that Argentina movie, some combination of those things. Let me know in the comments, and please like this video before you leave. Also, please sub to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.